Brockway for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. A few years ago, I read a book by Doug Blackman called Slavery by Another Name, the re-enslavement of Black Americans from the Civil War to World War II. The book talks about the legal system in the South post-Reconstruction. It talks about how African Americans, especially men, were arrested for ridiculous things like vagrancy or even changing jobs without permission. These men were then fined, and since in most cases they were unable to pay the fine, a local businessman would pay it for them and force them to work until the fine was paid off. Only the fine never was paid off. It was literally slavery by another name. The entire legal system of Georgia and every other southern state was rigged against African Americans. Often the families of these African American men had no idea what happened to their loved one. For some, years would go by before they'd see their families again. Many times the arrested men died on the jobs. This book shocked me, it opened my eyes, and embarrassed me. I had no idea that this had happened in my state. Why do many African Americans not trust our legal system? After reading Slavery by Another Name, I no longer needed to wonder. We here in the South struggle to deal with our history. So many wrongs have been done, and so many hurtful words have been spoken over the years. It's truly important to understand our history, otherwise we're doomed to repeat it. The Bible offers us a different way. The Apostle Paul tells us to let our conversation be full of grace. These things are hard to do sometimes. I try to live up to Paul's words, but I often fail. One of the missions of my church is to reconcile cultures. Acts 1:8 instructs Christians to be witnesses in Jerusalem, in all Judea and Samaria, to the ends of the earth. If you know anything about the relationship between the Jews and the Samaritans, you know the Jews mistreated the Samaritans. Yet Jesus told his disciples to be reconciled to a culture they had mistreated. As Christians, I believe we're called to do the same. I also believe as elected leaders in the state of Georgia, we have a responsibility to be vessels of reconciliation and bring people together, whether we are Christians or not. So let us be the ones who finally bring about reconciliation and put an end to the hurtful words and deeds of our past. So during this Black History Month, let us speak words of grace and be vessels of God to bring about that reconciliation. I'll do my best to be one of those vessels, and when I fall short, I hope folks will extend grace to me. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes